What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. If you haven't been over to the site, head over to Dr. Roto right now. Use code word doc and join today. You will see green screen after green screen. We hit so many qualifiers this week. We hit so many things, money, cash, bets. It was all fire. But you know what this is. This is the Heat-tastic Hard Hits Review. It's time to bring the pain. Yeah. Woo. All right, man. We're just going to get right to it, right from the go, because I have something a little special planned today. On top of, at the end, I will be reviewing one player from my Hard Hits and Cool Picks article that just hit the site today. That's for you IDT people, because, the IDP hero. Feel my energy. Yeah. Because that's the kind of guy you want to get your IDP stuff from. A guy that's got a lot of energy. You want to sock some. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was a champ this weekend, too, by the way. Yeah. We'll get to that on another podcast. Anyway, Tatis, home run. He didn't come up for us. All right. It's good. We don't need you then. We'll see you next year, buddy. Yeah. But we did Schwarber RBI. Didn't miss. All right. But that's all right. That's all right. Simeon got his hit. He had a decent prop on that. So I didn't mind that at all. As well as my boy Ohtani. It was my last write-up. I'm a Dodgers fan, bang, Dodgers, yeah. And I had to go with Ohtani. I did a single because that was actually it had a great number on it. And so I was able to throw in the RBI with that. That hit. And that put me at 3-2 for Friday. I hope you guys did definitely follow me all year, because that put this article at 62-45. Now, I know that the 45 could have been a little better. It may not be the best, but, I had a lot of things that happened this year during that time when I took a few losses on the weekends, but that's no excuse at all. But I still ended up positive in my first year writing betting articles for baseball. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and we got it done. Yeah. Woo. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to what we got to get to before we get it. So I'm going to highlight my player now before I get into my special at the end of this podcast. So the player I'm highlighting from my Hard Hits and Cool Picks article today is Paulson Adebo for the New Orleans Saints, right? Right now, he is literally low owned. He's owned in like 17% of the leagues. Nobody's on this guy. You need to go get him. Why? He's a cornerback that's actually tackling. And right now, when you have 32 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 7 passes defended, that's points all over the field. On top of that, his schedule coming up is so juicy. I mean, anybody that plays Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Denver, the Chargers, Carolina, Atlanta, Cleveland, then hits the bye, you're looking at 7 weeks of teams that are either a kind of a wreck, kind of don't have an identity, or run a lot. So that means that he's going to be able to be heavily involved in the under game. So when the running backs come out of the backfield and everything like that, like Kansas City right now, they got problems. And guess what? He ain't going to be needed to be covered. The running backs are a problem. Kansas City is hurt. So right now, this is a great play coming into this week. He's going to get a lot of work. He's been highly active all season. And if he's not on your team and he is on the waiver wire, you better go pick him up, because your IDP hero, your local IDP hero, said so. Yeah. Woo. All right. Now, let's get to the meat and the potatoes. Let's give it a dong. Ooh, yeah. Dong, 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 dong. You know what I'm donging for, right? Pete Rose. 14,053 at-bats in 3,562 games with 4,256 hits. We're talking about 17-time All-Star, 3 championships, a Rookie of the Year, 3-time batting champion, Golden Gloves, 3 championships, and the nickname Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose, passed away yesterday. And that is a very sad thing, because he is still, with the controversy going on with the Hall of Fame for him, a lot of people are torn that they say the lifetime ban is a lifetime ban. Well, unfortunately, if a lifetime ban is truly a lifetime ban and someone has unfortunately left this world, then I think the lifetime ban should be lifted. Now, I know that this is very controversial on a lot of ends, right? But you're looking at a lot of people said he was betting 10,000 a day, 2,000 a day, right? And the Reds put him in the Hall of Fame. They retired his number. So, there is respect for him out there. So a lot of people do respect him, but a lot of people really hate him. So on the internet, I seen a lot of people just being real nasty that he passed away. Like they don't even care. They just care more about what he did and what he was betting on. But if you're listening to this podcast, you make bets. Now you're saying, well, I'm not the general manager, and the rules clearly state that if a general manager player bet on their team or against their team, et cetera, I don't need to go lay it out, right? So, Giamatti definitely made Rose that poster child. He wanted to make sure that he set the standard that nobody would do that. But unfortunately, and rules have been handed down, check the Detroit Lions last year when they suspended a lot of their wide receivers for putting in gambles while they were on team property. Now, this is a problem, but again, it's not a problem. Gambling has been approved in a lot of states, and sports betting and DFS have become a big part of today's society, unfortunately. So a lot of people feel that we should still keep the lifetime ban, yet these same people are making bets on baseball. Again, I know they're not the GMs, but now the players and GMs are betting on other sports. And this goes to the 1930s and that old school mentality that a lot of people have. You can't sit there and hold something against somebody all these years when you're making bets yourself. You hold a strong stance saying that Pete Rose should never get in to the MLB Hall of Fame, yet you make bets every single day. He died it without ever getting in. He's not ever gonna know he got in. So at this point, what's the problem? Why are all of you still on your soapbox? So I'm getting on my soapbox. You're going to feel my energy. You're going to hear me bring the pain because Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. There's no reason that we should keep those mentalities. Those same mentalities kept Black people out of baseball, minorities out of baseball for a very long time. If we never changed those ways, if we never had a Jackie Robinson, if we never did that, then we would never change. So why are we still on this that he shouldn't be inducted into the Hall of Fame? His life is done. He's passed away. And I'm sad because when I grew up, I watched Pete Rose. I was a Dodgers fan. Man, I couldn't tell you when I saw Kirk Gibson, man, win that series for us as Dodgers with Oral Hershiser, I was so happy. I was so happy as a Dodger fan, right? But I grew up knowing who Pete Rose was, not his entire career. Of course, I mean, when you go from 1963 to 1986, I was only born in 78. So you may think, and you could disagree, you may disagree. A lot of people are going to disagree. Think about it. Check yourself. Are you putting bets in? Because this came from a lot of other people. Like Pennsylvania has not been a betting state for a very long time until it came around like 4 or 5 years ago. All right. And when it came around and I was giving out advice, the same advice I give all of you every single week, as well as all my boss came to me and said, I don't approve of that because for a long time, Pennsylvania, yes, my boss came up, not Dr. Roto. Dr. Roto loves my bets. But my boss came up and said they did not approve of me giving out bets because I'm playing into people's addictions, right? And maybe Rose was addicted, maybe a little too far. But at some point, you do learn your lesson. At some point, you are old enough. He was cocky. He did say things. I get it. I get it. But let's just take the posters down. Let's just think about this. He doesn't have to go in this year. Let's have the discussion. Let's see why people don't want him in. Just because of a rule? A rule? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let him out. Keep him out. But in the end, what you're doing is you're only keeping somebody that did represent the game for all those years, all those hits, those 3 championships. Do you remember what it felt like to be a fan when he won those World Series? Did you? Maybe you weren't alive. Maybe you don't remember. But the point remains is that those people were happy. Are those happy people the ones that are keeping him out of the Hall of Fame? I'm going to say no, because Pete Rose and those teams made those people feel good. I know what it was like when my 99 St. Louis Rams won the Super Bowl, but I didn't feel complete because it wasn't the LA Rams. When the LA Rams won the Super Bowl a few years ago in their home stadium, I felt complete as a fan. People had came out of the woodwork that had not talked to me for years and said I was the one true LA Ram fan that they all ripped on because the Rams sucked in the early 90s all the way up until that 99 team. We had a little stint with Jerome Bettis, and we got hot with our passing game of Rich Brooks and Isaac Bruce in 94. But at the same time, I was happy to see that. He's gone now. His legacy stands. If you don't want to let him in, that's fine. But guess what? I'm letting him in my heart. I'm going to let him in my mind, because in those stats, in that time, he has served his time. He has served his time. He has lived his life, and he knows what he did, and he carried it to the next world. Should we still hold on to these rules? Should we still go against somebody that no longer can even defend himself and no longer can even talk? He won't even be able to relish the moment. But you know who can relish those moments? His fans like me. Have a great day, everybody. And always remember to bring the pain. May the bets be with you, and may the good deeds in the end be with you as well. Rest in peace, Pete Rose. You were definitely a superstar in my mind, and I'm happy that in my heart, you're my MVP and you made my Hall of Fame. The Painbringers Hall of Fame. Ooh, yeah!